In this video, I want to talk about the power of responsibility. I mean, we all know what's going on in the world at the moment and want to do something, or maybe feel helpless in being able to do something. For me, making a donation just doesn't seem enough. It's when you've got them popping up, as no doubt anyone will be seeing, it feels too much like a bandwagon and leading to question how much is actually going to get to Ukraine to support them, whether it's going to be quick enough, and even whether we can truly acknowledge what the people of Ukraine are going through in this moment of crisis. Now, to talk about the power of responsibility, I do not want it to sound like I am diminishing the impact and seriousness of the invasion of Russia into Ukraine. It's awful, and it's beyond what I can comprehend. I can make little anecdotes or comparisons, but the truth is, Ukraine deserves better from us, from the West. It's, from an assaultry perspective, I mean, we can talk about making shield walls, and they've asked for one, and what have they got? They've been given some shields. Not one country is stepping foot in there to stand beside them in this moment that they are standing against a monstrous machine of military might. I made a post yesterday about how I don't want to see in 10, 15 years' time, should the world as we know it survive beyond this moment, how the brave people of the Ukraine stood to their own detriment in a heroic stand that saw them defeated and die. It's easy to make the comparison to the 300 Spartans. I mean, obviously, if you know your history, it's not just 300 Spartans, but that's the banner. It's the stand that's taken in the hot gates against the might of the Persian Empire. And for various reasons, no one wanted to make the stand at that time because of fear, various other reasons or excuses that were made. And then Leonidas dies and the Greeks all rally. That shouldn't have to happen. We should not have to listen to the death tolls increasing and going, well, it's over there, isn't it? I mean, it's not our fight at this time. I mean, that's the thing. It's not our fight at this moment in time. But Ukraine have been promised things or led to believe things, and they deserve it. I mean, yes, there are ramifications to that, but there are ramifications that have to be faced at one point in time or another. And our world leaders' decisions really are whether we do it now and stand with Ukraine, or we stand later after Ukraine has been annexed and pulverized. I mean, really, Ukraine, at some point, they are going to have to think, that they've been let down. They're being let down because they're not being given the one thing they need, which is people standing alongside them. So here's sort of talk of war crimes and investigating that and sanctions. It's not enough, really, is it? I mean, it's unacceptable. It doesn't help people in Ukraine that are standing and need us. I'm kind of struggling with it a little bit because I want to do more, and there's very little I can do. It's awful. It feels very much like all of our leaders are very much other children in a class that are watching the bully pick on I don't know, maybe an outcast child in the class, and anyone else could step in and stop that brutality and make a difference and encourage others to step in, but everyone's kind of looking away, going, well, we don't want the next target to be us, or obviously we're afraid. And I think that's at the heart of it, is we are afraid of the truth of the situation. But the truth of the situation is we haven't asked for this. Ukraine haven't asked for this. And it has to be confronted. We have to conquer the fear. We have to take the power of responsibility upon ourselves to do what is right, rather than look away in shame and remorse and let these people die or become martyrs or sacrifices. The right thing to do, if there's still time, and I hope that there's still time, but my feeling is the more Russia is frustrated, the harder they're going to come down on the Ukraine, and Ukraine will be crushed. And then our world leaders are waiting to see if Russia decides to advance or not. And then again, the decision gets taken out of our hands. And that's the thing. We need to own this. And this is why I wanted to make a video about the power of responsibility. There is a moment in any confrontation where you have to own it and decide, whether you like the decision or not, that you have to get involved. Whether you want to be uncomfortable witnessing something, or whether you want to take a risk, get involved and make a difference to the conflict that's going on. And we could step in and push back. We don't have to invade Russia. It's a case of, no, this is wrong, we will stand against you. In the most primitive fashion, this is about bullying, and too often it's, don't get me wrong, intellectually the idea of bullying is pretty pathetic, and as the thinking creatures we are, we should be better than it, but we're not. And the only way to stop it is to stand up to it. And then it stops. Absolutely. We can be better. We should do better. And I hope we do better. because we're not owning our power of responsibility, and I don't like what I'm seeing. It's shameful, and I hope that things change. So that's my talk about the power of responsibility. I hope that I am wrong. Cheers. Thank you.